Hi friend, hope that you are doing well. All good here. I today wanted to give you an update as far as what I have in my makeup bag, what I wear every day as far as makeup is concerned, and how I've given it a grow up since the last time that I've done a what's in my makeup bag video. Being on YouTube for years and years as I have, there are videos that are just classics to me. And while I feel like some of these are like OG YouTube, I love them still and I have to bring them back. So I did a what's in my bag video last spring or summer, and that was so much fun to do. And so today I wanted to do the same thing with my makeup. Also, I have to quickly just tell you that I just now have opened up my course again for summertime. So for Master the Art of Personal Style, which is my signature course, I'm gonna have that open all summer where you can just go ahead and join it, and then immediately you get access to week 1. I've never done that before and I'm really excited, and I think that it's just gonna be wonderful to have that immediate access so that you guys can just take it when you feel in the moment. And I believe so strongly in that course because it's taken 4,000 women from feeling lost with their wardrobe or just unsure of style in general and wasting a lot of money on clothes to then knowing exactly what to buy and what suits you and feeling so confident in that for those everyday moments in life where you need that confidence. So yeah, I will leave a link down below, or else you can go to dearlybethany.com and you can enroll there. So with that said, let's go ahead and start with the first product, which is SPF. If you see any fluffy kitty hairs, that is because I have an adorable 12-year-old giant fluff ball of a cat, and it's just my life. It's not something I chose, although I did definitely choose him. He's adorable. Anyways, SPF, my skin esthetician told me to get this one, and so I have repurchased it and repurchased it. I love it. It is the Elta MD Broad Spectrum SPF 46. So it's a 46 SPF, so that's automatically very strong, but it also has niacinamide in it, and then it also has the zinc oxide that works as the barrier from the sun. Also, a recommendation by my skin esthetician was to have a moisturizer that would not clog my pores. Being that I'm in my 30s now, I need that balance. I need the moisture, I need to protect my skin, but I also want it to not have any congestion because I still struggle with that too. So I'm in this great world of having to battle, acne, and then also preparing my skin from extra aging. And so this is I cannot pronounce it. I'm just gonna leave a link down to things down below, but this is Eau Thermale Avène Tolerance Control. I have no idea how to say any of that, but yeah, anything that she recommended, I was like, okay, I will do that. And so that's why I got that. Why I use that as part of what's in my makeup bag is because I blend those moisturizers to make my foundation sit very naturally and not too opaque. So let me get to foundation. I'm gonna have to just take everything out, I think. For my foundation, I have been extremely brand loyal. I loved for years to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, the liquid foundation. It was so high coverage, but yet it blended with my skin, and getting just the right shade was so important to me that I didn't even want to try other brands. And so it wasn't until Merit ended up gifting me some products like a year ago that I started to try a new foundation. And while I'm not working with them today, I did end up repurchasing this and repurchasing this. So I've gone through about maybe 4 or 5 of them by now, and it is so lovely. This is their Perfecting Stick. So it is a foundation, but it also acts as a very high coverage concealer when I need that. And so what I do is I combine this, I will put it on my skin, and then I will combine it with working in those moisturizers into it. And it creates a very dewy glow and a very neutral base. So while I have some yellow tones and golden tones to my skin undertone, this doesn't necessarily have a lot of warmth to it, but I don't necessarily want that. I want to start neutral and then build in colors on top of it. All right, so by the way, that was in the shade Linen, so that's a very pale neutral. On top of that, Probably since 2018, I have loved Lilaby. I love that they have these heavyweight, sort of stone-shaped products, and they usually come in a 3-pack, so I've got a few more in here as well. But this is their foundation, and you can tell I've used this thing so much. Like, I love it because after applying those, I don't want to look overly dewy, and this also gives me a little bit of a hint of a tan. And so I apply this just with a powder brush. So I'll use something like this in combination with this, and that will give me a very like matte look. It's even, and by the time that I've applied a powder on top of the foundation that I was just telling about, I feel like it has a very beautiful, like even look. I look tan, like I was saying, and it's just lovely. So this is in the shade Be Natural, and I just love it. Like, you could have this sitting on your counter and it would just be the most minimal and beautiful product to sit there. The next thing that I work on is my eyes, because once I've got a base that is even and looks great, then I can start to build there. I feel like my eyes are the most dramatic thing on my face. Like, for some people it might be their lips or I don't know, their freckles or something like that. But for my eyes, I inherited my Italian roots from that. And so because of that, I like to work with very much more like contrasting shades to sort of work with my eye color. And my brows are black, and my eyelashes are black as well. So I have a lot of depth there that I can work with. And the first thing that I do is I work with a bronzer. A tip that I heard years ago is to use bronzer as your base for your eyeshadow, and I have loved that so much. So when I originally got this bronzer, which is very well loved, I'm not gonna like give you a total close-up on that. When I first got this bronzer, I was using it on my face, and then I realized that because I have olive skin, technically speaking, that it really doesn't work well with an orange bronzer, or really a bronzer of any form, except on your eyes. And so I've been using that to sort of build a base to the rest of it. So this is by YSL, and this was the shade, it's gonna be something about Sahara, but it's in French. So anyways, Saharan, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna link it down below. So that's what I do for that. Then on top of that, I start to build the highlights and the lowlights. And so I got another palette by YSL. I'm not sure that this one is for sale anymore because they do switch out their colors very frequently, like annoyingly frequently. So if you like something, get a couple of them. That's helped me in the past. But I like this one because it has a couple of these more like brown to charcoal to even purple notes in the dark. And then over here it has these more blush tones, something that still has that gold to it, which works really well for me as well. And I really don't use this other silver tone, but maybe one day, maybe for New Year's Eve or something. So from there, I also have one shade that I love from YSL for my eyeshadow, and this is called Satin Crush. The wonderful thing about this is that it is a brown, like a very metallic brown, but it also has some of these more like maroon or purple notes to it, which works really well if you have some green notes in your eyes, as well as brown. And so that's been what I started with. I actually found out about YSL through a post that I saw on Instagram where Maren Morris was wearing a full face of YSL, and I just was like, you know what? As a makeup brand, I think that they are known for their high fashion, and I wanted that on my face. Like, I wanted the embodiment of that on my face. And so that was the color that she was wearing to the Grammys, and I instantly purchased that one. Again, I don't think they have that exact one for sale anymore, but I will link similar things as well as products that they have in different colors. Also, because I have always enjoyed having a range of blushes, I have 3 of them with me. And I do wear these, like I build on them, but I also wear these one-on-one if it depends on like the outfit and the time of day. So the first one that I like to start with is Lila Bee. This is in the shade Be Lovely, and it's actually a lip and cheek duo. So if you want a really natural look, if you're traveling and you just don't want to fuss, this is very buildable, and it feels like something that you look like you've just exercised. Is that sort of a blush tone. And it has a lot of these rust notes in it as well, so it isn't something that's overly in the mauve or the pinks, but it does give a very natural look. In addition to that, with Merit, they gave me this one a while back, which is in the shade Cheeky, and you can see just by putting it on the edge of my hand here, it has the same sort of effect, only it's much more of a berry note than the one from Lila Bee. And I also have one in terracotta, but I like to use that one more around my eyes more than I do on my face. I don't know what it is, but my eyes can handle a little bit more of the orange notes than my cheeks can, even though I have those yellow notes to my skin. It's a very tricky thing to navigate when you're in the olive skin territory. So because the olive skin actually moves that yellow note more toward a green, you can experiment with things that work lovely with green, which is why this pale tone also works very well on me. It's the Dandelion from Benefit. And I've always had something like this in my arsenal. Even when I was like in high school, I always had something that was in this range. And so while these other ones can really build the darker parts of the blush, this light version is really going to allow you to have just that subtle flush of color. Like you just walked outside and it was cold out and your cheeks got a little bit pink. And I don't know, I find that to be so charming, and if you don't like a heavy blush for your look, then that is a wonderful color depending on skin tones. I have 3 very well-loved eyeliners, and I do use all of them. I'm using all 3 of them right now. So the first one that I have is a brown eyeliner by Kier Weiss, and this was something that they had given me, and I felt like I really liked how it was so creamy. It felt like something that didn't smudge, but it still was very easy to work with. And when you are putting something like that around your eye, you want it to have that blendable movement. And it's also great to have an eyeliner that you can just have as like a smudgy look so that it doesn't feel like you're wearing something that's harsh or strong. In addition, I have a black one as well. This one is from YSL, and you can tell how much I have utilized this product. I mean, I love this so much. Again, it's very creamy, and YSL is known for their pencil eyeliners. This is a very strong black, so when you need that strong black eyeliner, this is a great option. But a pencil can only get you so far. It's great for a little bit of smolder, a little bit of the smudgy look if you want that. But I like to have more than that sometimes, which is more of a cat eye. So this is the YSL Shocking eyeliner. It has a felt tip, so it's very precise. I've used other sorts of eyeliners for a cat eye, including just an angled brush that has black powder, and that works wonders if you want something very precise, but something that isn't going to move and also is very dramatic would be one like this. Again, this one I tried to link recently and it wasn't available, so double check down below to see if there's a link to it now, but I did accidentally buy 2 of them when I was shopping for that, and so now I'm actually really happy because once that runs out, I have another one already. The amazing thing too, if I can just say this really quick, my killer reason why I ended up buying this is a review from a man in Montana who said his wife has tried every single cat eye product out there as far as like wet eyeliners, and this is the most precise. He said he was bummed about the price, but the cost per wear and also how much his wife loved this was the reason why he actually went to the YSL website and reviewed it. So shout out to the man in Montana that made me find my dream eyeliner. For mascara, I am not that brand loyal. I like something that is clean if I can find it. I also want it to be volumizing, and I never use brown mascara, being that my eyelashes are black. But this one is by Ilia, and it is the Limitless Lash Mascara in the shade After Midnight. And I have been very happy with this because it hasn't clumped. The brush feels very stiff, like very sturdy, and so when you are whisking it through your eyelashes, then it feels like it has a lot of control. And so I can lift a lot just by the structure of the brush. I've also tried ones like the Monsieur Big by Lancome. I loved that one. I love the one by Merit as well if you want more of a natural look, but this has been a good in-between. For brows, I feel like everyone has their own thing going on with brows at the moment. I feel like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, everyone was putting them on super strong, and now, not that I'm a beauty guru on YouTube by any means, like there's probably a million videos out there that are way more informative as far as brows, but this is what I personally do. I feel like I always want to start with a pencil, and that allows me the ability to reroute if I've made a terrible mistake. And so I like to start with a light pencil. This is embarrassing to me, honestly, but they aren't making this color anymore, and so I'm just desperately trying to use what's left of it, but it used to look like this, okay? I like working with the lighter pencil first so that I can make less mistakes and shape it the way that I want to. But then I've also really enjoyed having a darker pencil so that I can build that depth, so that I can also just feel like it's gonna define a lot and look like it's voluminous brows. And I also really like the fact that YSL creates these pencils that really have a high level of buildability. They're creamy and they move very well. It's not like something that's, I've used cheaper pencils before for brows and for eyeliner, and it's just like, it's work to be able to get the color on there, and this has been so lovely. So I use my pencils first, and on lighter makeup days, sometimes I just stick with a pencil, but I'm always remiss to be able to have a little bit more volume to work with. So I also prefer using something that's like a pomade. This is going to be what I used in 2018, which was a full, like, thick brow, but now I like to just sprinkle it in. And by doing that, I use an angled brush and I use a little bit of this product, and that helps me to build in where I really want a little bit more brow hairs. Meaning this has some of that texture to it that the pencil just cannot encapsulate. And so I like to be able to use that to build in where I've got some gaps. I also have gaps near here, and I also want it to be very thick and a stronger brow underneath. So that's my preference. I know that not everybody prefers to have thicker brows, but having something like this is going to give you a one-stop shop for brows. I think a lot of times we've used the Boy Brow before from Benefit and some other brands, but Merit has a good one. This is their black brown, and I like that for days when I either have no time to fuss with the other products, or if I want to build this into it and just raise out a few of the natural hairs from my heavy brow look. So that gives me a lot of contrast with my eyes. My eyes naturally have that contrast, and I just build upon it from there when it feels right. Oh, I've got a couple of these eyeshadow brushes as well. It has been recommended to me to have Bobbi Brown brushes because they're quality and they feel amazing on your skin and they work with the makeup very well. And so that's what I've always done because of that recommendation. So I use the eye smudge and the eye sweep, and one is for just building large products that are more neutral, but then also I have this eye smudge which works really well in getting inside the creases or along the eyeliner if I want to smudge that out. And that helps me build those strong contrast colors very precisely and in thin layers. And that's really how I achieve my everyday eyeshadow look. And finally, for lips, I like to build my colors. I like to have something that looks very natural. And so this is by Rouge. This is their cream lipstick, and it is amazing. It has this little lamb's foot, is what they call that, felt tip, where I can place that very subtly and then work it in with my finger, or else I can place this very strongly if I want like a strong, bold red lip. This does both. And so that's wonderful for that red lip, like that classic red lip. This also is just so great from going in layers, because the first layer or two acts a little bit more like a red that is moving toward pink. But if you do build it stronger, then it is going to actually move into more of an orange red. And so at full strength, it looks a little bit different than when it's toned down. But when it is toned down, I like to also use just a clear gloss. And so this is more like a lip balm by Emile Cordon, I'm not sure on the pronunciation. This is their flavor that is white coconut cake, and so that really paints a picture. It's got like a vanilla taste and a coconut taste, but I also really like this because when I use my finger for it, then it's got a little bit of the pink color, and it allows me to be able to dip that onto my cheeks and just be able to create something that looks like toasted sticky buns, because I do like to have like a dewy appearance to parts of my face. You know, I can work with the dewiness of the moisturizer and the cream foundation, but then when I put the powder on top to sort of cool off some of the dewiness where I don't want it, like on my forehead, for instance, I want to sort of bring that back into my cheeks so it looks like I had a fresh facial recently. So this allows me to do that. It also works wonders for your hands if you have some dry cuticles. And then throughout the day, instead of messing with those obviously messier products, I like to have this in my purse always. It's this beautiful shade. It's 86. I'm not going to see. Yeah, it only says 86 on the bottom, but it was a mauve color that I spent a good 2 or 3 hours in Sephora getting just the right shade, because I'd had it with anything that didn't have a lipstick color that wasn't just right for me, and I was just determined one day to find it. So pre-COVID, I went in there and I was like determined to find the exact shade that worked for me at Sephora, and it was this one, which was YSL. Which, you know, I think even before Maren Morris had worn this Satin Crush color of eyeshadow, I think this was the first introduction I had to YSL products. And obviously, none of this is sponsored. I just really am brand loyal. And so I like Merit, I like the Lila Bee products, and I also really like YSL. After all is said and done, I keep this little tiny jar in my makeup bag because it is 100% shea butter. And what this does is that it looks like some sort of pomade. And I have shared this with you guys actually a little bit before, but it is so lovely and thick and moisturizing. So you can use this on your hands or elbows, or, you know, why I carry it around with me during my day is that I usually get some flyaways on my hair, and I like to just have a little bit of this so that I can sort of tame that through my day, and that is so nice to be able to just have like a finished product. It even can do wonders on the ends of my hair if I just want to add a little bit of control or moisture there. So I am like a little bit crazy about my moisturizers and my skincare products. This is not all of my skincare products. I can definitely do a video just dedicated to that if you want, but this is my arsenal of how I blend my skincare with my makeup and how I just blend all of that in my day-to-day. And hopefully this really helps you to find some new products. That's really the goal, is to be able to share what works for me and why, and even down to how my unique complexion might sort of drive you to find something that works for you and your uniqueness. But yeah, leave a comment down below, please, if you'd like to tell me what your favorite makeup product is. That's always super helpful, and it's helpful to everybody else who watches these videos. And also give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on the bell notification, because I am in the process of getting a regimen of when I post. I'm shooting for 3 times a week, but currently I have some company coming, and it's also our anniversary in a couple of weeks, so I know that it's going to be a little bit sporadic right now. And so if you want to stay on top of all things Dearly Bethany here, then having that notification is going to tell you when I post next. And also don't forget to check out dearlybethany.com if you want to enroll in my course for the summertime. Of course, you're going to have lifetime access to that as well, but this is a great chance to discover your style even before fall comes, when everyone goes absolutely crazy for, you know, style and how to build your wardrobe. So I'm going to prepare you for that in advance, and take some time out for yourself this summer to really discover that. And with that, I will see you next time. Bye.